Welcome back, everybody. Today we're here to talk about Fear the Walking Dead, Season 6, Episode 12, titled In Dreams. And wow, what an episode this was. There's a lot to unpack here. A lot of emotional moments for sure. Setting up things for the future as well with the, key. So a lot to unravel here. I want to give a general spoiler warning though before I do get into it. So if you haven't seen the episode, spoiler warning. And then also, if you are a fan of the show, be sure to hit the subscribe button for more content like this. But yeah, let's get into the video. Alright, so first of all, In Dreams by Roy Orbison. I love that song. It's one of my favorite songs of all time. And when I heard the title of the episode, In Dreams, yeah, like that song came to mind. And then when I saw the episode, and they played that song a lot throughout the episode, like bits and pieces. And then we saw the full thing at the end. But yeah, that was a little neat little touch there. But now every time I hear that song, I probably can't not remember this episode. But yeah, there was a lot to digest with this one. Really emotional stuff, like I said, and we'll get to that. Towards the end. And the music choice, I said, I like that song, but also just the music in the episode in general. Like the score was really great, especially during those emotional scenes that we'll talk about later in the video. But yeah, the episode was based around Grace's dream, and she was sort of dreaming about her daughter in the future. So when Athena brought Grace over to that community, it sort of clicked like right then and there, like, okay, this is probably her daughter. And then we started seeing everyone a lot older, which was kind of trippy. Morgan looked a lot older. Daniel looked a lot older as well. We saw Strand. We saw Dwight older with kids, and Sherry. Although Dwight and Sherry looked, pretty much the same because they're kind of young anyways. Like Dwight had a longer beard, and they had kids. But yeah, it was super weird seeing everyone a lot older like that. We've seen something similar with Rick in the season 8 premiere when he got older. But it was only really him who was much older. No one else was really that old in that episode, as far as I can remember. But in this one, like, everyone was a lot older. And it kind of makes me wonder if this was the future. Like, is this really something that is going to happen? I don't think so because of what happened at the end. Again, we'll talk about that when we get there, but things played out differently than what it made it seem like in the dream, because Grace did survive, and she wasn't, it was there was some sci-fi elements too in this episode, like different timelines and different realities, you could argue, and we'll talk more about that in a moment as well. But seeing this future was definitely interesting. Like, we heard Alicia went back to the stadium, and I think Luciana and Wes went with Alicia. We heard that Althea left to go look for someone. I'm assuming that's probably Isabel. So some of these things, it does seem like it could happen in the future for these characters, even though the end did change with Grace surviving. So I think it is possible for sure. Especially that Althea thing. Like, they already kind of set that up last episode, where we had the CRM people, or not the really CRM people, but that one person from the CRM in that base, in those images that Wes's brother had, that kind of reminded her of Isabel, and then she was talking to Dwight about it. So I think they already kind of set that up, that maybe she is still thinking about her and probably wants to go after her sometime in the future. So there are some things I think that could happen for sure. But yeah, that was really cool seeing that future. You guys let me know, what do you think about it? And then going back to that sci-fi element, like, yeah, this episode had a lot of sci-fi elements in it, science fiction, like Grace hearing Morgan around the dream, like his voice, the different realities, like Morgan kind of popped into the dream and then he dissolved, and you were hearing things from the real world. Really, really cool part of the episode and something unique that we haven't really seen before on The Walking Dead, which I thought was really great. And I think that's why this season has been really great. It's because they keep doing things that are pretty unique. Like we had like each episode focuses on certain characters, but the way they're constructed, they do kind of original things. Like that Daniel episode, for example, that was sort of like a mystery episode, like who took the weapons. And they have these little genres for each episode almost, which I think is working well. But yeah, the whole episode was pretty trippy. Also like the POV shots of Morgan pushing Grace in the wheel, like cutting back and forth, screaming at each other, like screaming their names, stuff like that. It was definitely a trip. And then going back to Athena, I really liked her character. I liked the bond her and Grace had, obviously their mother and daughter. And I also really liked the look of the episode, especially the dream world. It just looked really, really beautiful. And then we had Riley, and the end is the beginning. People show up in the dream. So yeah, it was definitely, pretty trippy on that aspect as well. Like, we had people showing up in the dreams, imagining things. So just something totally different that we've never really seen before on the show. But the dream world was different, and they definitely had a bit of a twist there at the end there, because like they definitely made it seem like something was gonna happen to Grace. Like first of all, we learned that Morgan isn't Athena's biological dad. We learned that it was somebody who she was working with at the radiation plant. And then we also learned that she was exposed to radiation. So things were, getting pretty sad there. And I was like something's going to happen to Grace, because she was saying it herself that she got exposed to radiation. So because of all the things she was saying in the dream, I did expect things to play out differently. I also really like the parallels between the universes, or realities, I could say, not universes. Like for example, when Riley and the end of the beginning people came, like we saw the zombie form, or we saw both of them, but then the zombies came, like they were zombified in the dream world, and then they were real in the real world, obviously. So I kind of like those parallels. Also seeing Grace and Athena fight together was really cool. And then Morgan was fighting by himself. I mean, and Morgan took down everybody. And we'll get to that in a second, but I also want to know, seeing the actual talking walker was a little bit weird, but cool too, So that's what I mean. Like this episode, because it was a dream kind of thing, it was trying a lot of new different things, which I kind of liked. Like that talking walker. Like that's something obviously we would never see before on The Walking Dead unless it was a dream. So it was a little cool touch they added to the episode. And yeah, the thing with Morgan. So Morgan, he took down everybody, which okay, he's Morgan, so obviously, he has plot armor, so he could do it. But I don't get why Riley attacked Morgan so like openly exposed after he just saw what Morgan did to all his men. Like that didn't make sense to me. But hey, it is what it is. It's Morgan, they're not going to take him down. So it makes sense for him to do that. But the point was, like, he came back and he took the key. That was the whole point of it. And yeah, so they got the key. So that's going to be something that, they definitely set up for the future. And Riley survived. And, we actually saw Grace, like, kill Riley in the dream. So I kind of thought it was going to happen in the real world too, but it didn't. So, there was parallels, but then they also kind of did their own little thing at times. But yeah, anyway, he got the key that they've been building up since episode 1. It's kind of crazy to think about how long they've been building this up. And then also there was a pretty long break because of the extra 6 episodes of The Walking Dead. So it's actually been a long time since we saw episode 1. Where they set up this key. But yeah, that key, it's going to get them into the submarine. I wonder if we're going to actually see the group go back to that area though, like that submarine location. That would be really interesting. Or are they just going to get whatever they need to get, and then, we'll see that happen. Or I think Morgan could potentially just go back after them, because, he was in a tricky spot in the moment. He was with Grace. Grace was about to give birth, so he really had no other option but to do it. So maybe they don't even get to the submarine. Maybe somebody stops them. Maybe Alicia stops them. But we'll see. And then we had that final moment, and wow, like that was really brutal and, very dark. I feel very sorry for Grace, what happened there, after everything she was dreaming about, her daughter, She thought that she was going to survive, but then she didn't. So that was really sad. And that final overhead shot of Morgan and Grace, like, wow, that was really haunting. A very, bleak way to end the episode. And I also have to say that Karen David gave such an amazing performance in this episode. Like, she added so much to, I mean, the entire episode, but specifically that ending. Her performance was really powerful there and added so much to the scene and made it like so much more sadder. So she did phenomenal. And then Lenny James as well. He's always great. So he was very great in the episode as well. So yeah, overall I enjoyed this episode. I like the new things they were trying with the dream sequences, the science fiction elements of it. I love the character moments, between Grace and Athena. And then that ending was such a huge twist that I wasn't expecting. And so yeah, it was like a lot to take in, and I'm definitely interested in hearing what other people think about that ending, because yeah, it was a pretty big twist. So I'm definitely interested in hearing what do you guys think about that, and the whole episode in general. What did you think about the episode? I'm definitely interested in hearing your thoughts and opinions. But that being said, I am gonna wrap it up there for this review. So hopefully you guys did enjoy. If you did, be sure to leave a like rating. Again, let me know what did you think about the episode in the comments down below. And if you enjoyed the video and would like more Walking Dead videos, just be sure to subscribe. And as always, thanks for watching. Please take care, and I'll see you guys soon.